Hello, good morning. I can only really do these in the morning, so I'm always going to probably sound hoarse and very out of it. So just bear with me. Anyway, I was just kind of looking on Indiegogo, and I saw this, and then, I don't know, kind of skimmed through it, and then realized that there's a website, and you can also purchase this. There's an Etsy site, which I'll link down below. And I was like, okay, so I couldn't find anything, it seems. So I don't know if my searching tactics are bad, which, sure. um, so out of curiosity, because this isn't really something I'm drawn to, but out of curiosity, I went ahead and got it. Now, this isn't really an unboxing. It came in like a flat rate shipping box, but they had an open box deal, which I kind of feel guilty about getting those, but so I got that, and there is no physical. Okay, let me just go ahead and open this real quick. You get your little white book, but there's you can purchase the 40 books of Thoth, I think, and I from what I understand, it's mainly just images and information on like sacred geometry and whatnot. I kind of skimmed through that, but I did pick up the Return to Saqqara, which this is the Tarot of Saqqara PDF, because when I got this, I got a 10% off, and I had planned on purchasing the book anyway. And so it comes with a PDF, and I think I read from Indiegogo, because the information's a little scattered, that the Return to Saqqara should be coming out in print, or that's the plan. But so the Return to Saqqara is a 400-page book from the author and illustrator, which is Professor Donald Beaman. Now, this deck came out, I think, around 2012, 2013, and has been out of print, so it's been brought back. The seller's name is David. Now, I should have done a little more research, and I think I did, but when I research anything, I read as much as I can, which is not efficient because it goes right out of my head. Especially when I'm trying to talk about it. All of a sudden, I just don't remember anything, and then afterward, I'll remember everything. So, their relationship, I'm unsure of. Let's see. So yeah, I just couldn't find any walkthroughs. I found a few pictures on Instagram. Now, these are pretty big. I just got the Tarot of Vampires. So this is a probably standard tarot size. So that's the size of those. They're pretty big, which is fine. The borders are pretty significant. I will say the one thing I don't like is the Tarot of Saqqara is written on the bottom of every card. Now, when you get to the minors, since the number's there, I mean, I can overlook that. I just feel like that takes up quite a bit of room when there's other stuff that could be put there. So yeah, the Return to Saqqara book is about 400 pages. I wanted to get that because there's a lot of stuff going on up here that the little white book doesn't exactly talk about, like the double serpents, was it cicadas, or it's too early for me. And then the crocodile is Sabeth, and some of these other characters. Now, the Return to Saqqara goes a little more into some of that. For the majors, the minors, it kind of, it's the downside of that book in here. I'll kind of go through the images and while I talk. So this is let me separate these out. These are the minors. These are the majors, and it does come with some extra cards that it even referenced that these are not supposed to be used in readings, I guess, and we'll kind of talk about those in a minute. So these are the majors, which you can go, they have a website that you can go on to see almost all the cards. Let me bring this down just a little bit, then I can just set this here. So the Return to Saqqara talks quite a bit about the majors, and then when it gets to the minors, which is kind of the information I was hoping to get a little bit more of, but it does have the associations of the minors to its correlating major card. And another negative about the book is there are some drawings and diagrams that look very informative, but in PDF format I can't zoom in, and some things are not exactly legible. So that was a little disappointing, but it is pretty chock full of information. I'll be honest, I only skimmed it and read something. So, but it's got the Tree of Life, the Tree of Knowledge, different associations. So I think Donald Beaman got the idea when he went to Saqqara, which I think is like the first ever built pyramid. And it has a lot of diagrams of the site. It's got a lot of information about the site. It's got a lot of information about the gods and goddesses, and it got the tale of the doomed prince, which was interesting, and it's kind of, I think if I read correctly, because I read the tale and then kind of skimmed through, it's supposed to be a little bit more about the aspirant, which is the fool. It kind of talks about the pharaoh, the king, finally having a child and then being told that he would die of either a crocodile, serpent, or a dog, and he's kind of housed safely for a while. And he kind of got a little bit of cabin fever, which we can all relate to. And actually had a dog as a companion and was kind of haunted or whatever by the crocodile, which I think is supposed to represent the Sabbath. Probably completely forgetting what the name was. And then his bride kills the serpent. So I don't know. I think it was kind of in relation to the Fool card, and that was pretty interesting. There wasn't any other story in association with the other majors, but I was kind of hoping for more of the minors. It does talk about some of the aces and the court cards, and like I said, I did kind of skim it. A lot of that information went right over my head. The format is not exactly user-friendly, I'll say. It's not like sequential information. It'll have you know, how to read some of the hieroglyphs, how to read some of the Coptic symbols and things like that, and it's a lot of diving in, and so I'll probably get more into that later, and I'm pretty sure it's posted, but I got the Tabula Mundi and been going through the Libra Mundi, so that's going to be a lot to digest. And I'm sure that I was going to do more of a walkthrough, informative video, and that's taking quite a while because I'll have to read the book, and then the book has more things I need to research, which is great. It's kind of fun, especially with the crocodile and the serpent, and that being in that deck. So everything's kind of full circle, so it's not like new information for everyone. So this deck supposedly draws in from Egyptian, Norse mythology, and then a little bit of yeah, just a lot of things. It draws from a lot of things. But yeah, some of these symbols up here, just this whole image. I just want to know exactly what's going on. I feel like that's missing. And if it isn't missing and it's there, I have no idea how to read through it. But I mean, I'll read through the book a little bit more. Now, the minors are a little pippish, I guess. Sort of. So you've got, and he talks, there's a lot of geometry that's involved. They are a little bit different. There's, see, like this. I don't, what is that? It could be in the book, like I mentioned, but it's, like I said, not user-friendly, hard to navigate. Maybe if they print, there's a printed version, which I navigate a printed book better. I prefer a printed book. Maybe that kind of stuff will be easier to kind of flip through and go back and forth, because some of this geometry is mentioned, and in the 40 books of Thoth, I think that's what the other book available is, and that one is printed. I think that talks more about sacred geometry. They do talk a little bit more about the court cards. So we've got the princess, the hero, the queen, and the king. And on the bottom, they do have the associated lord titles. So like this is Lord of the Root of the Powers of Water. And that's the ace. And then like it has here, Lord of Love, Lord of Abundance. And I'm pretty sure all this information on here is searchable. The Return to Saqqara is pretty chock full of information. So as far as a type of reference book, I mean, it looks pretty good. But as far as like explaining some of the cards in the detail that I want, I mean, I feel like it's lacking. But like I said, I only skimmed through it. I'm probably going to try to dive in and read the entire book, and then I'll probably eat my words. But it does have the connection between the minor cards, like the decans and everything with the majors. So with the majors, and it does explain it in the little white book, I think. And it's not a bad little white book. I mean, you do get your meanings. So number 1 is the, oh wait, let me see. The goddess of truth in her Egyptian hieroglyph. 2, so that would be right here in the card. 2 is a Coptic symbol associated with the card, and that is right here. So in this corner, in the minors. See, the minors don't, oh, that's the court cards. Yeah. 3 is the Hebrew symbol associated with the card. So that's right there. And that's right there. Which for the Fool, and that's why this is going to, most everything is full circle, but I thought this was supposed to be Aleph, or the ox, or something of that nature. But that's something that would be explained a little bit more in the Return to Saqqara, I think. So 4, the story of each gateway, which is right here. 5, the rune associated with the card. So that's something a little fun, that it does include runes on the majors. So 6, the card name, and 7, the Egyptian amulet for the card. So 6, you know, the aspirant, and then 7, the Egyptian amulet. So that's kind of cool. And obviously they're a little bit different. So as far as information on the majors, it's very in-depth, and it does give you everything, especially with the Return to Saqqara. And the Little White Book does have quite a bit of information. It gives you the uprights, keywords, a little bit about the card. If you can kind of read through that. So the upright reversed. And the majors. So it lists the decans and the Lord title. So 5 Pentacles, Lord of Material Trouble. Self-imposed handicaps, what remains of the human wreck after a disaster. The limits of handicaps are only as potent as one imagines them to be. And then the upright and reverse. So that's pretty good. And then in the back, we've got the, I don't know how to pronounce it, Atu. That's the, also the like publishing company that Libra Mundi had, by M.M. Moline. So very similar to the Celtic Cross. So you get that. You get a little bit more information if you become a member on their website. There's like an hour video, which I don't know if membership is free. I was gonna wait. I think it is. There's an hour-long video with Donald Beaman. Now, Professor Donald Beaman has passed, so that's unfortunate. And like I said, this deck came out in like 2013, I want to say, and it was funded on Indiegogo. Now, I won't get into these too much. These are the like 4 extra cards, and I'm unsure. I don't know if, I think, yes. Oh, okay. So this is in the Return to Saqqara. The 22 Addis of Thoth, the double hallway of Ma'at. I don't know. I think that's how you pronounce that. So that's in there. So the 4 major arcana cards not used in the readings. And that would be the ones I just showed you. But it does talk about them, and then goes into the minor arcana. So not a bad book. So yeah, I think that's kind of and all of these were original paintings, I guess, done on 36 by 52 wooden artboard using acrylic, silver, and gold leaf paints. And there's and I'll link the video on down below it's by the seller of these also, that has little information snippets and showing Donald Beaman just a little bit. So yeah, the paintings the artwork is very nice. It's very nice artwork. The Tarot of Saqqara printed below. I don't understand that decision. I mean, you know, you just don't need to be reminded of what deck it is. And I mean, if you like this, you could at least get away with trimming the borders. But these are pretty big, which is fine, because then you can see the artwork. I've actually been kind of more interested in certain decks being a bigger size because I would like to see the artwork, but I just didn't see any walkthroughs or reviews. So they're very slippery. So just kind of wanted to dive into this, and I've also been kind of looking more into decks that have a little more symbolism to, I don't know, waste my time researching. It's pretty fun, but the Return to Saqqara is just, some of it went a little bit over my head, and I just need to really kind of sit and read it, and I think eventually I will read it in full detail and kind of understand a little bit more, because like I said, reading the Libra Mundi or Libra Mundi and kind of delving into the thought system, since most of it is kind of a little bit full circle, that's going to be just a little bit more added layers of information. So I guess if you're interested in the deck, I will link everything down below. It's fairly reasonable for what you get. The cardstock's pretty nice, maybe on the thinner side. It came fairly quickly. I see a lot of reviews of really good customer service, so yeah, this is very interesting, and I am kind of excited to dive deeper into some of the information, because I feel like you could read this, especially with the Lord titles on them. You could probably read this pretty easy, but it would be more fun to have more information. So I feel like I've just jabbered on and on. The coffee's definitely starting to kick in. So yeah, that's that. Hopefully you take care and stay safe, and thank you for watching.